based on some of the rhetoric that I see coming from the right wing, the anti-union rhetoric. And it reminded me of a problem that I've seen with the thinking of many Americans, where they are unable to separate the object from the holder of the object, right? The gun from the gunman. That's another example of where this comes into play. Ironically, the very same people who say guns don't kill people, people do. Right? Over and over again. Guns don't kill people, people do. Yet they're not with me saying unions don't kill people, people do. Right? Socialism doesn't kill people, people do. Capitalism doesn't kill. Well, let's leave that. Those people won't be saying that about capitalism. That's more for folks on the left, the anti-capitalists. Capitalism is evil. It's evil. There should be no capitalism. Capitalism is just evil, and it's leading to poverty, and people are dying. Right. So the problem is you. When I say the problem is you, I'm talking about us as human beings. We're the issue, right? Just like the gun ain't gonna kill anybody, it's the person with the gun. Socialism isn't gonna kill anybody. It's not evil. Socialism is not alive. It has no desire to help or harm, right? Just like a gun, it's a piece of metal, right? Constructed with a certain, idea in mind, but the materials themselves have no desire, no objective. They just are. They just exist, right? Same thing with socialism. Socialism is this model, right? And there are people who have ideas of what they can do with this model in terms of helping people and dealing with certain struggles we have in society. But just like the gun, socialism has no desire, it has no intention, right? It's something that you could write down on paper in terms of strategy. This is how we allocate resources, right? And I can be an evil person and take socialism to basically as a power thing, right? To take advantage of others, right? Or I can use socialism as a way to uplift people, right? Just like I can use a gun to defend my family, go hunting. I can also choose to use it to do a mass shooting, right? Socialism, view it as a gun. The people in charge have the power to utilize it for whatever they want to, right? So just like how conservatives are very well aware of how socialism can be used for evil, they need to also be aware of how capitalism can and is, which is an important part, can and is being used for evil. But those on the left who are well aware of this need to also realize capitalism being used for evil, it's not the fault of capitalism. It's the fault of humankind. It's a fault of us, right? Greedy, self-interested creatures. Not all of us. But because of the way that capitalism works, one person alone can do a lot of damage, right? A acquire enough wealth, a lot of power comes with that. You can cause a lot of damage, right? But you're the problem. It's not capitalism, right? If I'm a greedy capitalist and I'm just obsessed with wealth, right? Money, money, money everywhere, profit, profit, and I don't care about anybody. I'm a savage, right? I'm a true evil landlord. I'm just trying to get the rents up as high as possible. I got some old lady, kick her out. She's a nice lady. She always pays on time. She even, she's been growing flowers in the front yard, all this kind of stuff. I don't give a rat's ass. Get her ass out. I want to get enough $1,000 profit, right? It's not capitalism that's doing all of that. It's me. I'm evil. I'm disgusting. I'm a savage, right? I want to kick out an old lady so I can make more money for me, right? So left-wingers, don't be mad at capitalism. Be mad at me. Be mad at the savages who use capitalism in this, I don't know what the word I want to use, just savage quest to maximize profit and power. Be mad at them. Be mad at the savages, right? And we should unite, left and right, into the night. Please take a bite. Don't fight. What I'm saying is right. I don't have any more rhymes. Anyway, let's unite in terms of anti-savage. Anti-savagery, not anti-capitalist, not anti-socialist. Let's unite against the real problem. Savages. Savages who would use socialism for evil. Right? Savages who would use capitalism for evil. Let's unite against the savages. Let's leave these inanimate objects, right? These ideas that can be used for good or evil. Let's leave these things alone. Let's not ascribe intention to things that have no intention. Let's focus on the real problem, which is evil savages who, it doesn't matter what the program is. We could have capitalism, we could have socialism, we could have communism, doesn't matter what it is. Evil people will do evil with any of these programs. So separate the evil people from the programs themselves. It's the same thing with unions. I see on the right, there's this anti-union rhetoric going around, and you know, what do they focus on? Do they focus on the problems with unions? No, that's not actually what they focus on. What they focus on is the problem with savages, right? Who would use unions for savagery, right? That's what they focus on. So the idea that a union can be run by a group of savages, right? That's the issue. That's the problem, right? Unions have no intention. Unions are not good for workers or bad for workers. Left wing, again, we got to unite on this. Left wingers look at unions a lot of times as just, this is good for the workers, good for the workers. No. Unions are not good for the workers or bad for the workers. Unions have no intention, no desire, right? Unions can be great for workers, or it can be bad for workers. What is always good for workers is good unions, right? We need to advocate for not capitalism or socialism or unions or not unions. We need to advocate for good capitalism, good socialism, good unions. We need to advocate for non-savages running things. Because the non-savage, no matter whether they're running socialism, capitalism, or running a union, because they're good people, they're not savages, they will use these things for good. All right? I can use a knife to fillet a delicious piece of fish and provide a meal for a family, or I can use a knife to slice your throat and end your life. The knife is not the problem, it's the holder of the knife. Let's focus on being anti-savage. Anti-left-wing savage, anti-right-wing savage. Let's be against the savages. The savages will take the inanimate objects of guns, pieces of metal, and use it for evil, to harm others. Savages will take socialism and use it for evil. Savages will take capitalism and use it for evil. Let's focus our attention on the real problems. It's not capitalism. It's not like capitalism is not socialism. It's not communism. It's not unions. It's savages, right? We don't want savages to be running any of these things that we ideally want to use for good, right? Another thing that inspired this video is I saw a video, it was on Vosh's channel. He did a video with that, I think, trans person from TYT. He referred to that person as a tanky, and admittedly, Vosh had some good points. I don't think that person did very good in the debate with Charlie Kirk, but what was interesting is Charlie Kirk very skillfully brought up, because this guy is representing supposedly like a Marxist, right? Charlie Kirk brings up Mao and Lenin, and he tries to see whether, I don't even know, that Benny, I guess, Benny, tries to see if Benny is going to be defensive of Mao, or he's going to be like, oh, Mao is awful. I guess I tried not to do it. I guess I mixed up the gender there, but it is what it is, unintentional. Benny spends a lot of time, it seems, she took a position of a right-winger on January 6th, right? He said peacefully, peacefully, he said peacefully. But he also said to cut everybody's throats. Yeah, but he said peacefully, peacefully. Right? There were grandmothers there that were just going to they weren't hurting anyone. They were there with their kids on strollers. He tries to whitewash it, and, you know, some of the stories that were being told by Mao may not be accurate, or blah, blah, blah. Like, rather than just totally denounce Mao, he's dancing around, because I guess Mao is associated with some of the ideology that Benny is promoting, so doesn't want that stain to be associated with the ideology that Benny is pushing. So kind of running away from it is what I perceive was happening there. But there's no need. Mao, the fact that Mao may have been promoting communism, socialism, whatever Mao was promoting, whether what he was doing was really socialism, communism, or whatever it was, irrelevant. Apparently Mao was a very evil person. Apparently Mao was a, you know the word, savage. So the fact that a savage is associated with whatever ideology you have is not a stain on the ideology. It's a stain on the savage. It's a stain on Mao. Do we honestly think that Mao would have been a better person if Mao was pushing capitalism? Is that what we think? As a leader pushing capitalism, Mao would have not been a savage. That is absurd. Mao, from what I read, was a very evil person, and evil people do evil things. So I don't think it was the ideology. I think it was Mao. So if you believe in the ideology that Mao supposedly was promoting, you shouldn't run away from the fact that Mao's a savage, right? You should be able to separate your ideology from this savage person, right? And you say, that guy was a lunatic, and he has nothing to do with pooling resources and raising ships and whatever, however you want to describe it, right? You talk about the stuff you believe in. We believe that we shouldn't have so much people that are poor. We should help people at the bottom more than we are. We believe da, 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 da. Talk about the stuff that you believe in, right? The fact that there was an evil guy that was using it is irrelevant. The fact that you have a serial killer using an M16 doesn't mean M16s suck. It means the serial killer sucks, right? Separate the person from the object. Separate the person from the ideology. The only time I would say that this doesn't work is if you have an ideology that tends to attract savages. I think at the very least it is worthy of some kind of introspection and thought process in terms of answering the question of why. Why would this ideology seem to attract so many savages? But other than that, I don't care how evil someone is that is a capitalist or a communist or a socialist, right? I care about the merits of the system, the merits of the ideology. I look at socialism as, okay, let's look at this idea. Let's look at the positives. Let's look at the, negatives, and let's make an assessment of whether we think this is a good idea or not. I really don't care to think much about what some evil person who used this ideology did. Like, irrelevant. Irrelevant. All right? Let's flip it, right? So these conservatives that are so afraid of socialism and communism, if Hitler was a major capitalist, would they take the same attitude? Would they be running away from capitalism? Capitalism, Hitler. What about Hitler? How many people did Hitler kill? How many Jews got killed because of Hitler? Capitalism is evil. That's what. Look what capitalism did to Germany. Right? Right. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.